This is a secret recording from a teacher in the UK caught threatening two brave girls for having an opinion on gender ideology and refusing to believe you can identify as a cat.
Oh, not this cat business
A high school
again.
teacher in the UK tells two female students that they need to find another school to go to for not subscribing to gender ideology and questioning the rationality of identifying as a cat. This teacher needs to be sacked for trying to indoctrinate these two brave girls. Well done to their mother for teaching them to stand up to this devil.
There's no way. Hold on. Before you play it, there's no way there's over identifying as a cat. Are you sure this isn't a parody?
No. This is a real video. It doesn't really talk much about cats. It is more so about like gender ideology.
Do you know what? This cat situation...
But they mentioned the cat and the teacher was like, well, what's wrong with that?
This cat situation started 2 years ago, and there was a lot of confusion about it because a lot of leftists were saying that these are right-wing activists or whatever making this story up to throw gender ideology under the bus. And at the time, I really couldn't tell who was telling the truth, because I can imagine people that are really against this stuff could make up a story. But then as time went on, we saw more and more wacky shit coming out. And then we saw that story in Australia where the girl, they were literally saying she should have catnip in the classroom or some shit. And I'm just like, these are teachers. Like, I understand parents, or not even parents, children maybe doing stupid shit. I pretended like I was a dinosaur after I saw Jurassic Park when I was a kid. But my parents were sane enough to tell me, no, Michael, you're not a velociraptor.
This is my whole point and argument. If a kid is telling you, I'm a cat, it's down to you to say you're not a cat, you'll never be a cat. We can play pretend cats, meow, meow, but you are not a cat. And how dare grown adults, teachers in schools, or whoever else around them say, do you know what? If you identify as a cat, that's fine. You can be a cat. And everyone has to refer to you as a cat now. And we have to make all these changes in the classroom because you're a kid and you don't know much about life. But you say you're a cat, you're a cat.
It's almost...
grown adults affirming this bullshit.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people with mental health issues now running the asylum. That's the problem here.
That is the problem.
If you think that this is not the same as like a kid believing in Santa Claus or a kid believing in the Tooth Fairy. You're telling a child that, yeah, you are a cat. Like, you have to understand how unbelievably ridiculous it is for an educator to be affirming this stuff. They're supposed to be the ones that guide the children down the right path. If their stupid friends were the ones doing it, I'd be like, yeah, it's just kids being dumb, pretending to be something that they're not. I remember there was a game on the PlayStation called Beast Wars where you could transform into animals. I was obsessed with that game. I used to think I was the cheater all the time. I'd run up and down the stairs. My mum did not tell me, yeah, Mike, you're that character in Beast Wars. Like, it was a fantasy. That's all it is. You're not a fucking cat. You're not a dog or a giraffe or whatever else you think you are. I swear to God, if I ever go into a school and I see like a kid on the floor flapping around like a fish out of water, I'm just going to fucking...
How dare you? You've just really upset someone. Saying things like, should be in an asylum.
I didn't say that. I just said if they want to identify as a cat or something, then they're like genuinely unwell.
Then they've gone
they're crazy.
You were questioning their identity.
I wasn't a question. I was just saying about the gender. I didn't say anything about them.
But where did you get this idea from? There's only two genders.
I just think it's my opinion.
That is my opinion.
If I respect their opinion, can't they respect my opinion?
Where the fuck did you get the idea that there's not only two genders? You're a teacher. Oh my days. There's so many things that I want to say, but I can't say on YouTube right now. What an idiot. This is an adult. This is an adult talking to children. This is meant to be the children saying the dumb shit, not the adult. Yeah. How are they hiring mentally challenged people? Asylum, yes, that's the perfect place for you.
These kids sound exactly like you.
Yeah, this is the perfect place for you. Go to the asylum. That's where you belong. If you pull children aside for questioning somebody's identity when they identify as a cat, you are the one that needs to go in timeout. You are the one that needs to go to the asylum.
Timeout.
How dare you pull it? God forbid I ever have children and some teacher does this. You will regret the day you got out of bed, I'm telling you. I ain't going to kill you, but I am going to verbally berate you to the point that you ain't going to want to work in that school again. You cannot be telling children dumb shit like this. I dread to think where this recording is going.
This is not an opinion.
Yes, it
is.
is.
It's not an opinion you can have.
Loads of people think there's only two genders.
There's only a boy and a girl.
Literally. There's no other private part. There's only two.
Gender is not linked to
There is
the
only two
parts that you were born with. Gender is about how you identify, which is what I said right from the very beginning of the
I just don't
lesson.
agree with that. So why should I have to listen to something I don't agree with?
Biological sex, there is actually 3 biological sexes, because you can be born intersex. You can be born with male and female body parts or hormones.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah, there's 3. There's not 300.
Doesn't mean
Yeah, there's 3. I'm talking about biological sex. In terms
The number of people born with that medical anomaly is literally below 1%.
But that's still irrelevant to the point that all of these people keep trying to make anyway.
Yeah, and I think in a lot of intersex cases, they are actually male or female. There's just a medical anomaly where they
Yes.
have both. Like a woman might have a penis and then they remove it because it's essentially dead. It's useless. So, no. There are 2 sexes. It's male and female. Statistically, and I don't mean this in a rude way, if there's any intersex people watching us, I highly doubt it because it's less than 1% of the entire population. Statistically, it is irrelevant. It is male and female, and that is it.
of gender, there are lots of genders.
Well, I just
There is
don't agree.
transgender.
Yeah, that's right.
There is agender, people
Yeah,
that
but there
don't
is
believe
one.
they have a gender at all.
yeah, but you can't have that. You
No,
do
you
have a
can't
gender.
have that. It's not a law.
Yeah, but it's
not a law, but it's our opinion. We just don't agree with it. We just think it's all just.
If you have a vagina, you're a girl. If you have a penis, you're a boy.
Yeah.
That's it.
But cisgender is not necessarily the way to be.
It's-
You are talking about the fact that cisgender is the norm. That you identify with the gender that of the sexual organs that you're born with,
Yeah.
or you're weird. That's
Yeah.
basically what you're saying.
Yeah.
Which is really despicable.
How? When it's
If I
literally
called
true.
my mum right now, my mum would
Same.
be on my side.
If I called my mum, she'd say.
Well, that's very sad as well then.
How is it?
Loads of people agree with that.
This woman should be locked up. She should be locked up. I'm not even joking. I actually think she should be locked up.
It literally is what she's saying. Basically, it's my way or the highway. You can't have your own opinions because you have to follow the way that we all feel.
No, pay attention to the language she used. When they said this is what we believe, this is our opinion. First of all, these girls are spot on. It's not an opinion, it's just fact. But listen to what she said. She said it's despicable, which means she's intolerant of facts.
She also, yeah, go on.
You tell her that there are there's male and female, right, which is a fact. You tell her that there's man and woman, which are the 2 genders, and that's it. And she says you're despicable. Now imagine if it was the other way around, and the kids were saying that because you identify as a cat or transgender or whatever, that you're despicable. They would have been excluded. This woman should lose her license to teach, and yes, I think she should serve some prison time for trying to indoctrinate them into this madness. Those are children. Luckily, these girls sound smart enough to not be indoctrinated into this moronic bullshit. But kids are very impressionable, and you get the wrong 2 kids in there, they're going to start thinking, oh, well, my teacher told me that Susie is actually Michael, or Michael is actually Sabby. It's just like, no.
But why is it okay for her to say cisgender is not the way to be, but it's not okay for them to say essentially no gender identity
Because
is not the way to be?
It's my way or the highway. That's what I'm saying. Even
It's just
this
wrong.
cisgender term it means nothing
Yeah.
to me. I am not cisgender. I am just male. I don't identify as male because of my penis. I am male, and that's it. I have a penis because I'm male. Cisgender is a nothing term. When people say it to me, I don't even react because it's not. It's just it's a useless word. If someone says, "Oh, you guys are cisgender," like you can't really be in this conversation, I just tune out. I'm like, okay, cool. I can't talk to this person. They're too stupid.
There's only a small majority of people who actually think that.
And why do you think we have so many problems in the world with homophobia?
Yeah, but
Because
that's
of
not
people
homophobia.
expressing-
That's gender.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm
it
fine
is.
with lesbians and gay people.
Same.
I've got nothing against them.
Yeah, same.
But gender is
What the fuck does this have to do with homophobia, you idiot?
This is the problem. Just like the transgender in Starbucks employee episode we filmed, it's people are quick to use the word homophobic, transphobic, etc. when you're not actually being phobic of any kind. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't even know how to explain it, Michael. Can you understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying. The children are talking about identity. The conversation was about identity, and now you're making it about sexuality. People that are homophobic have a problem with men sleeping with men and women sleeping with women. People that are transphobic have a problem with people that identify as the opposite gender. They are not the same thing. It's not that you're not talking about sexuality. You're talking about identity. You can't even pick a lane because your argument is so moronic. How does it feel to be schooled by a bunch of children
but it's because they don't actually know what they're talking about. It's like that guy that always goes on Piers Morgan's show. They don't actually know what they're talking about, so they just throw loads of different things around.
Buzzwords.
Yeah.
Homophobia, transphobia,
That's it,
bigoted,
yeah.
inclusive, my experience, my truth. Just shut the fuck up, man. All of you are full of shit. You're just full of it. And it's insane to me that we're now in the upside down where the teachers are having to be taught by the children. How did we get here?
There is a link between it, and you're saying that people can't
isn't
change
No,
who
they
they want
can't.
to be.
They can't. Unless you
You're
get a
so
penis
wrong.
attached. No, I'm not.
You're confusing sex and gender.
No, I'm not though. Because
Yes,
if you have
you
a
are.
vagina, you're a girl. If you have a penis, you're a boy.
Yeah, you can't have a vagina and be a girl, but then
Gender
Unless you
Right.
get surgery, and even then,
Gender
because
is
you've got
about
those genes.
how you identity.
I just
How you
don't agree with
identify.
it.
But
Yeah,
it's
listen.
not an opinion that
Yes,
we
it is.
express in this
Yes,
school.
it is.
No, it's not. And if you don't like it, you need to go to a different school. So
I did go to a
I'm
different
reporting you to Miss Willis. You need to have a proper educational conversation about equality, diversity, and
I ain't
inclusion.
doing it. My mum
Because
said
I'm
that,
not
yeah.
having that expressed in my lesson. When I'm
Get this stupid moron out of here, man. She's one of those people that you employ because you just don't have enough staff. There's no way this person went to university, got a bachelor's or a master's.
But I just think it is absolutely dreadful that people keep on, students are getting kicked out, expelled, excluded, people are losing their jobs for having their own opinion on something. Why are they not allowed to have their opinion when everyone else has their opinion? It's unfair that people's lives are being ruined and controlled and dictated by this.
Yes, school is supposed to be a place where you express your opinions and you have people challenge them. So if that person wants to express themselves as a cat, go ahead. But there's nothing wrong with a little bit of reality slapping them in the face. There's nothing wrong with students saying, hey, maybe you're not a cat. Mm-hmm. And do you know what? We'll go one step further. Identify as a cat if you want. And maybe the students won't say anything, but they don't have to subscribe to that way of thinking. You can think whatever you want. You can think you're a Zulu warrior in the rainforest, even though you come to school in an urban city. You can think whatever you want, but other people do not have to believe that. And this teacher does not understand the difference between sexuality and identity.
No.
Trans, the T in LGB is who you are romantically involved in and who you want to sleep with. T is identity, right? They're two different things. So get that right before you start educating children.
Not transgender.
Yeah, transgender. That's how you identify.
Yeah.
It's nothing to do with who you sleep with, because you could flip over to being identifying as a man and still sleep with women.
Do you know what? Just before we move on, because this is just what happened, right? So I watch a show called Selling Sunset, right?
What?
Selling Sunset. It's
Is that like
about
one of them travel shows?
no. So it's these like real estate agents in America, but they're selling like all of the biggest mansions and things like that, right? One of the girls on the show ends up dating somebody who is no gender identity. This person
Non-binary,
right? The person that she's dating, you can see biologically is a female.
right?
Okay. But the girl on the show always refers to her partner as they, them, their. Okay. However, what confused me was her saying, I wasn't really sure in the beginning because I'm straight. But you're saying that they're no gender identity, but you're saying you're straight, which means you're basically saying that your partner's a girl, but then you're still referring to her as they, them. It just confused me a little bit.
Hold on. Okay, so it's a lesbian couple, but she is saying she's straight.
Yeah, so like she's always been straight. After all of her male relationships failed, she got with this they, them, who is biologically a female.
But identifying as a male.
Identifying as no gender.
Okay, so but is she still saying she's straight?
No.
Oh, she acknowledges.
This girl in the beginning was unsure about no gender identity person because she was saying she's straight.
Yeah.
So it's imagine.
Okay, wait.
I don't know how to explain it. I'm not explaining it properly.
Okay, let me explain it to you.
I'm going to give you names and then you might understand it with names, yeah?
All right.
Straight girl's name is Chriselle.
Chriselle.
Yeah?
This is the person that's been...
Straight and had loads of boyfriends.
Okay.
Okay? No gender identity's name is G something. G.
Let's just call them G-spot.
Yeah, something like G-spot or something. G-shock, G-spot, G whatever. G-shock is non-binary.
But
Chriselle,
biologically a female.
but I'm guessing biologically a female, but she looks like a female.
Okay.
And Chriselle is straight usually.
Female.
Okay. Straight. Chriselle has had bad experiences with boys. She meets G-shock. They want to become romantically together.
Okay.
Yeah. Chriselle initially said, I wasn't too sure about G-shock because I'm straight.
But you're not.
However, regardless of if she's turned into a lesbian now or bi or whatever, she said I'm straight, which means she's referring to G-shock as a female because that would mean, you know, she's not a boy. If you're straight, you're going to go for a boy. So what I'm saying is how are you referring to G-shock as they, them, there, but you've just said I'm straight? That means you're basically saying, I'm not sure how this is going to work out because I'm straight. That means you're basically saying she is a girl.
Yeah.
You see my point?
Oh, no, but the thing is that they don't believe what they're saying. Of course they don't. They understand what stands before them. That's why when you don't affirm pronouns, they get so triggered by it because they know the truth. And they just want you. The thing is that if you control what comes out of people's mouths for long enough, you will control how they think. And that is the idea here. Someone made a comment the other day. How many times did he hear it? But if you control how people speak, you will eventually control how they think. And that's what the goal is here. And that's why it's very important that if you believe in this pronoun stuff, go ahead. I couldn't care less. But if you don't feel coerced into saying these things because eventually it will warp your mind and you will start to lose touch with reality. We don't believe it, and we never will. And I'm not going to use pronouns. Like I've said before, my middle ground is saying your name. If you're not okay with that, then we can't talk. I can be respectful of you, and you can be respectful of me. It's not you show me respect by using my pronouns, but I'm going to completely disrespect the way you look at the world and make you feel uncomfortable to use those pronouns, which it does. I hate the argument where it's like, well, it's just a simple ask. If it's a simple ask, don't ask. If it's a simple thing, don't ask. Go about your business. If it doesn't bother you, go about your business. If people are telling you they're not comfortable with saying it, and you're saying you're not comfortable with hearing it, then just mind your own business and don't talk to these people. That's all you got to do. It's a simple fix. You can't tell me that you're uncomfortable with something, and then I tell you I'm uncomfortable with something, but somehow yours is worse. If you don't like the pronoun thing, and people don't like the pronoun thing, and they want to use your name, to me that seems fine because it is your name, right?
Yeah.
I'm not even talking about a dead name. I'm not going to call you by the name that you were originally given. I'll call you by the name that you want to be called because you can legally change your name whenever you want. Mm-hmm. There's no societal implications. There's no political implications. There's no social implications on that at all. You can change
call
your
me Princess.
If you change your name to Princess, I'll call you Princess.
I changed it now.
No, you have to legally do it. I'm not going to call
Do
you.
you see this attitude? Her name was G Flip, by the way, I remembered.
G Flip. Well, I was close. But yeah, that's my stance on it. I think that both sides need to show some level of respect because we're still human beings. And even though I don't subscribe to the way they see the world and they don't subscribe to mine, there is a middle ground. And it's your name. And I've had this conversation with people before and they're like, no, that's not good enough. I'm like, well, then fuck you. I'm not budging on my belief system just the same way you're not going to budge on yours. And you need to understand something as well. Even though the woke mob has these institutions and these companies and the government in a chokehold right now, and it feels like whenever you say something, you're about to be cancelled, that is going to flip if you keep on going down this road. If you meet in the middle, people will get along. If you keep on pushing people and pushing people and pushing people and being hypocritical and putting yourself on a pedestal, yeah, this might last for 10, 20, 30 years. Eventually, it will flip on its head. It always does. Read a history book if you don't believe me. Try to meet in the middle, and everyone can be civil. If you don't meet in the middle and you do what this dumb teacher's doing, I'm telling you now, if this goes on long enough, it will flip on its head. And nobody wants that to happen.
Teaching you about you can be who you want to be.
Everyone else
How
thinks
you
it.
identify is up to you.
Everyone else thinks it. They just don't say it because then all this happens.
Maybe because they're polite and maybe they're sensitive.
I haven't said anything in all of the lessons I've been in. It's just because they turned around and started saying something. So I said, how can you identify as a cat when you're a girl?
Well, they're now writing a statement. I would imagine that you'll be asked to write a statement as well.
We will.
Yeah, we will.
My mum will be fine with that.
I just don't even know why it's being taught as an actual lesson. Like it's
Yeah.
like they're actually getting rid of all of the subjects that you need to and are supposed to learn in school and substituting now for this.
Yeah.
It's like take the focus away from this for a second and give kids the normal education that they should be getting.
It's just dumb. This is all based on feeling. There's no facts here. You feel a certain way, so I must affirm it. No. If you want to feel a certain way and you want to do things to your body as an adult, like I said, I couldn't care less. That's your own shit you're going to have to deal with. I would advise anyone that wants to go through that stuff to maybe look at the stats of what happens to people following that, and maybe look into the people where things didn't really go the way they thought they would, and hear those voices as well, because we always hear about, oh, you need to hear these people speak, you need to hear these people speak. But when it's about detransitioning people, they don't want to hear it. And those voices are very valid. I think the number I heard the other day was, I might be getting this wrong, I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was over 40,000 of people detransitioning. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but there's still a decent contingent of people that are going through it. But their voices nobody wants to hear. They don't even want to talk about these people. They don't talk about them in the schools, right? They're talking about this whole movement in the schools, but there's no mention of these people, that they don't exist. And that's the word they like using. Oh, you don't think trans people exist? No, it's not that. It's that I don't believe their worldview. Of course they exist. They're people. I just don't believe in their self-identification. But I think it's funny that you want to talk about existence. Yet anytime we talk about detransitioners, they minimize the situation. They minimize the problem. When there's a decent number of them, and there's a decent number of trans people who haven't detransitioned that are saying that this was a mistake, and their voices are shut down as well. Their TikTok accounts get banned. Their YouTube accounts get suppressed. They go on Instagram. They can't get videos up. They suddenly get these messages under their videos. This is misinformation or some bullshit. It's just, to me, it just seems like a farce. It's literally my way or the highway. I hope those parents write a good statement. I hope that teacher gets fired. And if there's teachers out there that are doing this bullshit, I hope you get fired as well.